Okay, let's talk about fossil fuels. Let's understand a little bit more about fossil fuels in this video. So, basic information: what is fossil fuel? Basic how it is formed. If you see marine plants, animals, etc., dried and buried inside earth over the time of year, they have accumulated with pressure, heat, etc. They are now converted to fossil fuels over a period of, the process would have taken about a period of millions of years, right? And now we have fossil fuels beneath our surface, and we dig and we bring out those fossil fuels and use it for energy production, transportation, and so on. So that is the reason we call that fossil fuels are cannot be renewed, because it takes about a million years, even more than that. It takes over a few million years to really produce those fossil fuels, right? If you see, primarily there are quite a few, but three of them are really popular, which is oil, gas, and coal. So let's have a look at each of them. So if you see oil, it's till now about 150 billion tons of oil has been pumped from beneath the surface. Half of it was during the past 20 years. So you can see that the need, or the rate at which we are extracting oil, is continuously growing, and we use oil primarily in the transportation sector, right, and also partly in the electricity production. In 2007, worldwide, in that year, about 3.9 billion tons of oil was extracted from the earth. And now, if you see some of the other studies, it says that as of now, the estimated oil reserve is about 157 billion tons. Right. So if you do basic math, if you just divide 157 by 3.9, right, you would realize that the oil is not going to last maybe about 30-40 years or so, right? And this is assuming 2007 data, which would have also grown by now, and second, this value is continuously growing, and therefore the estimate of 30 to 40 years is actually not a very good accurate estimate, and the actual value might be much lower than that. Now, that said, there is if you see, these are the conventional oil reserves. What it means is, these are the estimated value based on the oil reserves which are accessible, or which can be reached by a human being using a certain technology, right? So for example, let's say going to a certain depth using a certain equipment. Today we can extract so much of oil from the earth without being cost affordable and easily. So that does not mean that the total oil reserve is 157 billion tons, right? We don't know, but we may have much more oil stored in the earth. But as we try to extract that oil, it may continue to become more and more expensive. So therefore, we say the conventional oil reserve is about 157 billion tons. Just to justify this, if you see, as we are extracting oil, it is getting depleted. So 2007, about 157 offshore fields were there, going up to a depth of about 5,000 meters. And in 2000, if you see, out of those 157, only 44 are operational. That means about more than 110 have already been depleted. So now the next step would be to go further in depth and then try to extract oil, which would be more costly, and that would also one day will get depleted, and then we go further down and further down and further down. So over this process, if you see, it's becoming expensive every day, the process with which we extract oil. Same thing is true for gas. Very similar picture. If you see in 2007, global consumption about 3 trillion cubic meters, estimated global reserve about 183 trillions. Right? So roughly about 50 years. Gas is primarily used in thermal power plants, right? And it is also used for heating applications. Moreover, if you see, for instance, in case of gas, the current record for the depth is 2740 meters, right? But as we talked in terms of oil, same thing is going to happen for gas, and as we deplete gas, we might need to dig up deep to find it then. Third one, which is coal, which is I think it started being used in steel industries and locomotives, right? It has completely wiped out, almost completely wiped out of locomotives. It's not being used anymore. It's still being used in steel industry, and quite a significant part is being used in electricity production. These 5 countries have the world's largest, as of now, coal reserves, right? What is known to us as of now: United States about 250 billion tons, Russia 162 billion tons, and so on. Coal is not a very convenient fuel to use. Energy density is low as compared to other fuels. Moreover, it's in terms of cleanliness, in terms of pollution factor, also it probably comes last among the existing fossil fuels, and that is one of the reason you see in United States the consumption of the oil has been decreasing since 2008. China and India are as of now producers of one of the biggest producers of coal and also consumers. So if you see, China is number 1 producer and also consumer, and India is the second biggest importer and consumer of coal. India also produces coal quite significantly. Again, if you do basic math, and if you see, people might claim for coal, let's say 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, and so on, right? But as you see, even the existing trend, it shows that even though we may have coal reserves, but coal is definitely not going to be a popular choice in future, right? Because of the different factors. And 200, 300 is also not a very large value, right? I mean, it's not forever. So if you see, this is one of the quote I found on a website. It says, "I don't care that you don't care, and even if you did care, I still don't care," right? And this is the quote which I found, and this is the quote which I feel with respect to the fossil fuel situation at this moment of time, which is, I care that you care, and even if you don't care, I still care, right? So with that point, let us see why we should care, right? One point we have already observed regarding fossil fuel, that it is depleting, right? It's depleting reserves, cost is going to increase in future, and it will become less and less cost effective moving in future. The other problems associated, which are even bigger than this, which forces us to care about the situation, is global warming, right? The climate change which is happening because of using fossil fuels, pollution, and related health concerns because of the pollution, and also because the process of extracting these fossil fuels itself is not very clean, and that also leads to a lot of health issues. So let us have a look at the health issues in a little bit more with some examples, and then we'll talk about the other 2 factors also. So just a reminder, so most of the discussion that I'm putting on, I try to put a source for that discussion, so you can feel free to go to that source and read more and explore more about that topic. So if you see, more than 2,000 miners across the eastern region in US are dying from an advanced black lung disease, which is also called as coal workers pneumoconiosis. It's also called as coal workers pneumoconiosis, which comes from inhaling coal dust mines. So people who work in coal mines and they end up inhaling a lot of coal dust mines. And if you see a lot of coal mining, as we discussed previously, US is reducing the coal production and therefore coal mining also. But on the other hand, India, China are still producing coal in significant way and consuming. So you can imagine these values could be much more worse if we talk about some of the other coal mines and so on, right? Uh, Other disease, when they mine the coal, there is silicon particle in the air which they may inhale, and that also causes serious issues in the health of the mine workers. Quite a lot of studies have been done by people around this area. If you see one such study which says 53 premature deaths per year, 570 emergency room visits, and 14,000 asthma attacks annually could be attributed to pollution from one of the coal plant in US. The aim of showing you this data is that we are talking about one plant and one mine and so on. But you can imagine in the world there may be so many of these plants and these mines, and the harmful effect they may be causing to the health of the workers. Another thing is is the fracking. So fracking is a process by which you first drill a hole, and then you pour in a lot of chemicals in the hole, which goes in the rock, and then it sort of creates a blast and try to extract shale gas from that. So that is the process of fracking. And so what happens is a lot of side effects which may happen because of that, because one is you're putting a lot of chemical in the earth which might get leaked, might get mixed with the underwater, right, which people might consume. So you see a lot of health issues could be associated with that, increasing risk of birth defects, certain cancer, asthma, other respiratory ailments, earthquakes. People are trying to investigate what is the effect of fracking on earthquake, because you are blasting the core, right? So quite a few of challenges associated with extracting of shale gas. Natural gas is again, it's not just its extraction, but if you see, it's polluting. And there was an incident in which so much of pollution got leaked in 2016, which was equivalent to how 6 lakh or 600,000 cars would over a year, right? So such kind of incidents shows that these fossil fuels are difficult to handle, and the accidents could lead to a lot of effect on health and pollution. The second, in the last point, if you see, it talks about the accident where the people got killed because of accident in one of the bakery, again due to natural gas. So that sort of requires very special handling of these fossil fuels, and even then minor issues may come up. So moving on from health, we have seen a lot of examples of difficult issues related to health which may arise due to mining and extraction of fossil fuels. Let us see the impact of fossil fuels on pollution, right? Which in general people are more aware of. So if you see, fossil fuels emit carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and other gases. Carbon dioxide I've not talked about here. We will talk about more in carbon dioxide when we talk about the climate change issues. As of now, let's see sulfur dioxide and the nitrogen oxide and what harm can they do. 2014, fossil fuel combustion at power plants accounted for about 64% of sulfur dioxide emission in US. You see, this is a large value, right? Uh, the issues coming from these gases varies over a large range: asthma, bronchitis, other chronic respiratory diseases, nasal congestion, and so on. The transportation powered by fossil fuels, right? The road transportation primarily is a significant contributor to the nitrogen oxides. Acid rains, which is formed because of the sulfur dioxide and the nitrogen oxides combining with water, oxygen, and other chemicals, right? These acid rain essentially increases the acidity of the water which comes along with the rain and which goes into the lakes and streams, which further affecting the fishes, other aquatic system, trees, forests, and so on. Particulate matter, right? Soot, which is essentially produces haze, right, and remains low to the surface, can cause again lot of diseases associated with inhaling of those particles. Mercury emission, yeah. So coal plant are one of the largest source of mercury emissions in the air in US and in other parts of the world also. It goes from air, it goes to it settles, and then it goes to the water bodies, and then it goes to the fishes, and it goes to the birds, and then it goes to the animals, and we also consume it, right? So if you see, consumption of mercury laden fish by pregnant women has been associated with neurological and neurobehavioral effects in infants. Another pollution coming up from these fossil fuels is when they are purified, right? So, for example, if you see coal, some of the coal contains large amount of sulfur, and therefore we cannot directly use it in power plant. So what process we follow is that we first clean it, right? And when we clean it, it leaves behind a coal slurry, which is the watery waste that contains a lot of these heavy metals, and then disposing of that slurry, the cost associated, the health aspects, and so on, are challenging issues, right? So this is the another dimension of pollution from the fossil fuels. Coal ash, right? If some of you would have visited thermal power plants based on coal, you would see that there's enormous amount of ash it produces, right? It produces both fly ash and then bottom ash, and then fly ash is then converted or collected before emitting in the environment. So all of this ash disposal is a big challenge, and it has to be done carefully, and it certainly demands additional cost, right? So if you see these factors, it's the coal. I mean, I told you some time back that coal is not being very popular, and its consumption is reducing in the US. Some of these factors could also be a contributor to that factor. Okay, last way in which these fossil fuels pollute or sort of end up utilizing the resources is in terms of water. Now, water, as we understand, is in itself a challenge, right? When people talk about issues affecting the globe, they talk about climate change, water, food, health, and so on, right? So, water is in itself a challenge. But then the fossil fuel based power plants, right, and nuclear power plants, they require large amount of water for them to be operated. If you see, this study says in US it requires as much water as all the farms and more than 4 times as all the residents. So you can imagine the amount of water feeding these plants. More than 80% of this water comes from nearby lakes and rivers, which directly impacts the local ecosystem, right? Which reduces the availability of water for other purposes such as irrigation, recreation, and so on. So overall, right from gases and then a lot of health issues associated with the gases, acid rains, particle matter, metal emissions, sulfur, cleaning of the coal, ashes, water requirement. There are quite a few number of issues associated with the use of fossil fuels. Okay, so we saw health issues, we saw pollution, and the third and the biggest reason why we should care is the climate change. Right. So this is a picture I've taken from one of the website where there's a flood. But you can it just symbolizes what all things can really go wrong in future, right? Because of the climate change. We'll talk about climate change in a little bit more detail in the next video.